Weather, mostly cloudy skies, high of 55, only a 20% chance of a brief shower. Monday, a 20% chance of showers, but more sun than clouds, with a high of 57 degrees, a breeze from the northeast on Monday. Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, high of 60. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and 58, 40% chance of a shower, 70% chance of rain Wednesday night, 60% chance of showers on Thursday, mostly cloudy and 57, and on Friday, more clouds than sun, with a high of 57 degrees. Currently outside our Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio here on Park Avenue in Woonsocket, it's 45 degrees. This is the one and only ON Radio.
ON Radio.
Good morning and welcome to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin, Rhode Island's only local sports talk show on Saturday mornings. I'm Kevin Callahan, back in studio, joined by my co-host Pat Holland. Pat, top of the morning to you, and how are you today?
You stole my thunder. I was going to say top of the morning.
Oh, top of the morning.
I'm doing great.
All right. Now, it's great to be. Thank you for running the captain's seat last week while I drove to, where the heck was I driving to? Vermont.
A little bit of responsibility. I like it.
All right. Sounds good. No Vermont this weekend, so I'm back in the seat. So, all right. Well, we got the Radio Squares coming up at 10, so we're going to jump right into it. We're going to go around Rhode Island and New England, get you caught up. We've had a very busy week. All four major sports teams making the news this week, and for good and bad reasons. So, let's start in the high school ranks. Cumberland High School baseball currently riding a 4-game winning streak to improve to 5-3 on the season. They're currently ranked number 5 in Division 1. Their pitching will continue to be tested as they embark on. They just came off a 4-game week. They have another 4-game week starting Monday against the number 3 team, East Providence, in East Providence. Lincoln High School currently 7-3. They're ranked number 8. They've dropped 3 in a row. The last 2 to number 2 Hendricken 7-3. And the aforementioned East Providence 10-6. Lincoln next plays this morning at 11 at home against Smithfield, who's ranked number 9, I believe. In Division 3, Woonsocket remains undefeated at 10-0 and ranked number 1. North Smithfield is currently ranked 7th with a 3-2 record. In softball, over in Division 2, Lincoln High School ranked number 2 with a perfect 7-0 record. And heads up on this, they might be on a collision course in the final game of the year, May 18th. The only other undefeated team is Johnston, who is currently 8-0. The Burrillville North Smithfield Co-op team is currently ranked 5th with a 4-3 record. And I think the number 3 team already has 3 losses, so it really looks like Lincoln and Johnston are on this collision course for May 18th. We'll keep an eye on that for you.
Yeah, and over to the college campus as we go. Boston College baseball is up 2 spots from number 24 to number 22 in the country. Thank you, BC, for representing the Northeast so well in baseball. URI baseball currently sits at 16-24 on the season, while the softball team also sits at 16-24. Both teams are on the road this weekend. Brown baseball is faring a little bit better at 18-14. They are home for an 11:30 doubleheader today and a single game tomorrow at 12. All of those games are against Cornell. The softball team is 15-21. They are at Cornell this weekend. And over at Bryant, they snapped a 4-game losing streak last night with an 8-5 win over UMass Lowell to improve to 20-18 on the season. Those same 2 teams will play today at Lowell at 1 and tomorrow at 12. The softball team is currently 16-21. They will host Maine today in a doubleheader beginning at 1. And the PC women are 24-15 in softball, including 14-1 at home. They host Villanova today at 1 and tomorrow at 12.
Yeah, I believe those are both single games. The Worcester Red Sox currently 2-2 on their 6-game homestand. Lost last night 3-0 to Syracuse. They wrap up their homestand today at 4:05, tomorrow at 1:05 on the Christian Campbell watch. No need to do a Peyton Tolley watch anymore. He's up in Boston.
He pitched well.
Yeah, he pitched very well. On the Christian Campbell watch, he saw his 8-game hitting streak stopped last night. It's one of those interesting stats. He's played in 22 games. He has a hit in 18 of those games, but only 2 of those 18 are they multi-hit. He has a 3-hit and a 2-hit game in there. Everything else is 1 hit. He's currently hitting .253 on the year with a .366 on base percentage. So I'm not sure if he's making a case for himself with the hitting streak and the on base percentage, or if he's they want him to hit better than 253.
He's hitting better than half of the Red Sox lineup right now.
Exactly.
So I say he's making a case for himself.
253 is like 400 right now to the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. And the Providence Bruins continue to wait for their first playoff opponent to be announced. They did receive some good news yesterday. The American Hockey League announced that goaltender Michael DiPietro has been selected as a winner of the American Hockey League the Les Cunningham Award as the most valuable player for the 2025-2026 season. The award is voted on by league coaches, media, and players. DiPietro, 26 years old, is the first Providence Bruin to win the league MVP since Randy Robitaille in 98-99. The 6-foot, 205-pound goaltender posted a 34-8-1 record in 45 appearances. He led the American Hockey League with a career best 1.91 goals against average, a .930 save percentage, and 34 wins. DiPietro also recorded 3 shutouts and 3 assists.
Not bad for a goalie, 3 assists.
Yeah, right. Providence will play the lowest remaining seed of the number 6 Springfield versus number 3 Charlotte matchup, or the number 5 Hershey, number 4 Bridgeport series. Both of these series are currently tied 1 game each in our best of 3. Scranton will play whoever Providence does not play, obviously. And that round is a 3 out of 5 series as well.
Yeah, so that should be starting shortly. You got to never know if it's good or bad that the team sits and waits for over a week,
right?
Waiting for other series to finish up. They're going to have to literally knock off the rust when they do start. Over the RIFC with a convincing 4-0 victory at home this past Wednesday against Charleston Battery. They'll be at Hartford tonight at 7 o'clock. They do return home next Saturday at 7:30 when they host Birmingham Birmingham Legion FC. Through 6 games, RIFC is currently 2-2-2. They just had another announcement about another cup that they're going to be playing in mid-season.
Yeah. A lot of cups.
I don't know what's a regular season and what's not. In the website's a little bit confusing. I never know what's a real game or not. And seems like they've played like 15 games, but they're 2-2-2. So
yes. So, you're exactly right.
Oh, okay. It's very, very confusing. Don't look now. The New England Revolution, who were all over last year and the beginning of this year, now have won 5 in a row. They're currently in 3rd place with a 5-3 record. They are in Miami tonight to take on the 5-1-3 Miami team with a 7:30 start time to face Lionel Messi.
Yes, sir.
If I'm not mistaken. So, all right. So, as mentioned when we first started, Dave got Radio Squares, the 30th anniversary of that contest coming up at 10. So that's coming up. So stay tuned for that after the show as well. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. 401-766-1240. Bruins Celtics in the playoffs. Red Sox gave up more home runs than they scored runs last night. Is it already too late for them? And the Patriots continue to make news on and off the field this week. And if you haven't been paying attention, where have you been? So join us in the cheap seats. And we'll be right back after these messages on WOON 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, and WoodSoccerRadio.com.
Your certified Buick GMC dealer serving drivers throughout Woonsocket and the surrounding areas is Tasca Buick GMC. At Tasca, you'll find a solid selection of new Buick GMC models, as well as a carefully inspected lineup of pre-owned vehicles. They also have a well-connected finance center run by a qualified team of finance experts who can help you get the right loan or lease in a quick, easy, and transparent manner. Tasca Buick GMC, 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Visit TascaBuickGMC.com. Tasca Buick GMC. You will be satisfied.
At North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care, you'll always be seen by a board-certified physician who'll diagnose your minor illness or injury. Their services include treatment for flu, fractures, rashes, ITU infections, and work-related injuries, plus physicals, vaccinations, and drug screening. North Smithfield Urgent Care, Great Road, North Smithfield, and Lincoln Urgent Care, Wake Robin Road, Lincoln. X-ray and lab on premises.
Since 1948, their motto has been to give every customer the very best in quality service as well as attention to detail. And that promise continues today at Micho's Auto Body, a modern 5-stall facility with the latest in technology. Michaud's Auto Body knows that following an accident, you need reassurance about the entire process, including reports, insurance, rentals, and more. Their promise is to give each person all that they are paying for, and then some. Michaud's Auto Body on Privilege Street, Woonsocket, 769-1983.
Bringing over 3 decades of experience to every home improvement project, Moran Corporation, formerly A.J. Moran, combined traditional craftsmanship with modern techniques to deliver results that stand the test of time. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 to 5, Moran Corporation has seasoned firewood for just $165 for half a cord and $300 for a full cord of wood. And what better place to put that firewood than a new fireplace made out of veneer stone with granite mantles. Contact Jack Moran at 781-267-8920 for information about these fireplaces, firewood, and other home improvement ideas, or visit their new website at morancorporation.com. As always, Moran Corporation continues transforming your property with expert hardscaping.
Join us this morning, right after the Cheap Seat Sports Show, to hear somebody win their choice of $300 cash or $500 in Rhode Island lottery tickets in our invitation-only Radio Squares Championship game. The fun starts at 10 a.m. and plays single elimination until we have a winner. That's today at 10.
WOON AM and FM.
And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. I'm Kevin Callahan, joined as always by Pat Holland. Okay, let's jump right into it. The Bruins down 2-1 in the series, and for a variety of reasons, I've got tomorrow's game is an absolute must-win. Based on they were the best home team during the regular season, or one of the best home teams in the regular season. On the road, they have been terrible since January. They took one in Buffalo, the other day over in game 2. But going into tomorrow's game, how are you looking at it, Pat? And I got some comments on the first 3 games as well. But how are you looking at tomorrow's game, which is at 2:00 tomorrow? The
Yes.
Celtics are on at 7. Yeah, all right, got my times
Tomorrow.
all set.
At 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think it is a must-win. You got to take care of home ice, and they already dropped one that they really shouldn't have. I mean, they were in control of that game the other night.
Yeah.
And first of all, you got to start scoring on the power play, and when you have a penalty shot, you have to bury that.
Right.
That's a different game if they take advantage of the power play and they score that. If they score that penalty shot, they're up 2-0.
Right.
Much different game than it is. And, at the end of the day, that Laurie and Lindholm combination on the back end has been horrendous.
Yeah.
All 3 games.
Lori's looking more like the minus 47 that he was last year than the plus 13 that he was this year.
Just rushing, not being strong on the puck. It's a tough look at this state of the season.
Right.
You just can't have that. You can't be turning the puck over in your zone and getting beat down low physically, and that's what happened. A lot of people want to put a lot of emphasis on, they missed that elbow on Took.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they had opportunities well after that to get the puck out of the end, and they didn't.
Right.
Do I disagree that should have been? I think it was a penalty, but whatever. It is what it is. You got to play the game.
Refereeing in the playoffs is always different than the regular season. Anyway, they do try to put their whistles away for the most part.
Yeah.
They'll bring them out. Obviously, power plays are still hugely important. My issue, however, with the Bruins, and if you have a comment on the Bruins or anything else, give us a call. 401-766-1240 is in the 3 games in the third period, they're being outscored 8-1. You go back to game 1. Where I honestly feel like they just tried to coast the whole game. They were up 1-0. I actually feel like they got lucky with a second goal to go up 2-0. When they were up 2-0, they completely just sat back. A complete collapse. The last 8 minutes of the game woke up the Buffalo fans who were starting to boo their own team, which they did do in game 2 as well. But completely, so the Bruins completely gave away game 1. in the final 8 minutes. Game 2, obviously much better, but even that, they're up 4-0, and I didn't feel so. As soon as Buffalo scored to make it 4-1, I was starting to get nervous again.
No, I mean I wasn't nervous, but and they scored both those goals 6-on-5.
Right.
But I say it all the time. Are we the only team in the NHL that can't put an empty net goal away? I feel like it's like every time the other team pulls a goalie, it's like, oh boy, let's strap in. And then when we pull our goalie, it's like the other team scores within seconds.
Yeah, that was literally last like near the end of the season. They pulled the goalie, boom, like, 2 seconds later. In game 2, I don't think it got reported enough though. It's like Victor Arvidsson had the 2 goals. He had a huge play on the end of the game. He avoided the Bruins had iced it. They were going for the empty netter that they didn't get. They iced it, but Arvidsson beat I forget who to the dot to avoid an icing, and then they trapped the puck in the up against the boards. That killed about 35 to 50 seconds or so, where it would have been an icing call to the right or left of Swayman. Harbison, I thought, had a huge game, obviously with the 2 goals, but that was just a great hustle play by him to avoid the icing, and the score was 4-2 at the time, and the fans were waking up again, and they were feeling it.
It's time that you got to look at your big players, right? Pasternak. Geeky, that first line, has been really,
not good.
Not good.
I mean, Geeky got the goal on the backhand from the center ice line.
He also had 2 wide open nets that he couldn't figure
bury
it out. I mean, he couldn't bury it. But really, the best line they've had has been that Arvidsson line, or overall the third. Yeah, I mean, those guys are fine, but that third line, the young kids, have been great.
They've been good
on both ends. Opportunities, they're playing back. Hagen's had the unfortunate tip for that goal the other night, but I don't blame that on him. That's just bad luck.
No, I've been happy with Higgins.
Swayman's played out of his mind.
Swayman's been great. That was my biggest concern going into the playoffs. Would he do enough? I really thought he's been doing enough.
Yeah.
I think the team has let him down in front of them, especially in games 1 and 3.
As physical as we are, we don't look that way when the puck is behind our net or in our corners.
Right.
It seems like Buffalo has controlled those areas. We're physical all over the ice, but behind the net, you get that goal in game 1.
Yeah.
That Thompson scores where, Swayman just loses where the puck is. Thompson comes out the other end because we're not physical. We're not hard on the puck behind our end and behind the net and in those corners where Buffalo's just been controlling the play.
So is that a problem with Sturm as a coach? Is that a problem with the leaders and Pasta and McAvoy?
You can look at the guys who have been on the ice for those, and it's Lohrei, it's Lindholm, McAvoy to a certain extent, although I think he played much better in game 2. And again, we're asking McAvoy to do more than those other guys, right? Offensively.
Right.
Lohrei is an offensive defenseman, but, Lindholm has been, and I don't think he's been the same player since he had that knee injury.
I agree with that.
But, at the end of the day, we got to carry play. We got to play physical. You got to stay out of the box. They're 0 for 10, I think, on the power play. That's not going to keep going.
And Buffalo's power play has been struggling too, which is also it's a good thing. But both teams' power play, struggling right now. But Pasta, he's a -3. And one of them I'll give him a little bit of a pass on because of the empty net goal that Buffalo got the other day. Obviously, you want Pasta on the ice when you have the 6-on-5, an empty netter. That happens. But take that away, still a -2. He's got a couple points, but he's not. He's
not standing out like a superstar.
And I found, especially in game 3. I felt like I was at a parent at a youth soccer game. I kept yelling "shoot" at the TV, but it was more because they kept giving up good shots for intentional passes.
Yeah.
Why did a goal that didn't connect when a nice shot and a rebound might have produced the desired effect instead of the perfect pass. They're just not shooting enough. So
Right.
Oh, okay. Hey, let's go to the phone lines, and let's see who we have here. Good morning and welcome to the Cheap Seats.
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning. How are you? How are you, Moose?
I'm fine. Yourself?
Oops. There we go. All right, doing well. Doing well.
Okay.
Sorry, Moose.
It's okay. Yeah. Well, it's exactly what I want to talk about. The subject talking about now, and that's the Bruins. Look, I think you mentioned it last Saturday, and I think Pat agreed, is that this is going to be a long series and tough series, and I think it's going to do that. I think it may go 7. It's been 3 close games. They could have won either way. Buffalo may have been a little more physical, maybe a little more driving towards the net with better chances, but the Bruins have had their chances just as well. You could easily say they could have came out of Buffalo with 2 games instead of 1 because they blew the first game.
Absolutely blew the first game.
Yeah, and they came back with to win the second game, and the Thursday night's game could have won either way. And it just so happens that Buffalo got a couple of late goals, and they're up 2-1. I don't know if you agree or not, but I really think that this series is going to be stretched to 6 or 7 games.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I had it going 7 from the get-go, so I'm not surprised.
You mentioned that exactly, and I concur. And I haven't changed my mind. It's been a good series. I'll say that. It's been quite entertaining.
Yeah, no, it's been frustrating in parts, though. I mean, the Bruins forced the Sabres into a goalie change. Lyon played very well. Obviously, stopping the penalty shot gave him and the Sabres a lot more confidence. And for the rest of the game 3, he looked very comfortable out there.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the problem is when Tanner Jeannot is your only goal scorer in the game, and you're really not expecting him to score all that much. It's the first line's not clicking here, Moose, and that's what I'm starting to get worried about.
Yeah, we need Pastor and Geeky to step up here, and I mean they're 1-2 scorers on the team, and they really have not brought that game to the table yet. They better do it soon, or else we're going to say bye-bye.
Right, I mean, they got almost 70 goals between them. Was it Geeky with 39 and Pasta with 20? So almost 78 goals between the two of them. They're not scoring the way they need to in this series. And did you agree with it? I think they're, believe it or not, passing too much instead of shooting. I thought they passed up way too many shots for the pass. Did you notice that?
Not really. I didn't notice it. Perhaps they did. Of course, that's something that's very glaring if it jumps out to you and say, well, pass, stop passing the puck, shoot, shoot. But I haven't really noticed. I just think this series has been touch and go from game 1.
Right.
And to bring out certain things of what the team's doing or not doing, you can also apply to Buffalo. The Sabres have been very physical in this series, and actually I think they get away with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crashing the net, I don't know how many times they crashed that net. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's interference. You can't crash into the goalie.
Right.
But they let everything go. However, and I'll leave it at that, I think they'll win. When are they playing? Tomorrow afternoon?
They're playing tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow at 2.
2 o'clock. Oh boy, that's a good time.
Yeah.
It is a good time, and I think they're coming away with a W tomorrow.
I hope so. I think they need it at home. They're a much better home team than an away team, so they have to. I think they have to. If they go back to Buffalo down 3-1, then it could be a 5-game series for sure.
Yeah, we need this game tomorrow.
Exactly. So
we need this game tomorrow.
Yep.
But that's what my take is on the Bruins so far. It's just what I thought it would be, a very tight series.
All right.
Anything else? No, I do not I, again, do not want to talk about the listless Red Sox.
Well, we're going to get to them after the break anyway, but...
Well, too bad for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, but I got a couple thoughts on them as well, but we also want to hit the
Corliss,
Celtics.
he doesn't know how to speak to the public, or he always gives these nickel and dime answers when the press asks him about, well, what's wrong with the team. We've got to just keep playing. No kidding. Really?
I think I do think he's at a loss right now. He's got last I checked,
there's
a couple days.
Since the beginning of the season.
There's four
He
guys
never had
hitting under
Anthony
200.
leading off. Never. He put him into an awkward position, having him lead off, and then with Caleb Williams batting second the first couple of weeks, and Yoshida does not belong in the middle of the lineup. Oh my God! Ground ball.
But he's one of the only guys hitting.
He's the only guy hitting.
He's not really hitting.
286.
He's not hitting for nothing. He's got no power. He's got no home runs. He's got 5 RBIs?
Nobody has any home runs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But he's not driving in runs. He's not being productive. He's in a 3 or 4 hole. That's your production hitter, and he's not delivering. This guy's a bench player. Period.
What it comes down to is none of the top 4 or 5 hitters are doing anything. So
nobody's doing nothing.
Right.
It's a shame. Bello is probably still turning his head from the homers going out of the park.
Right.
But I don't know. They need something to turn around very
But beyond
quickly.
that, even when they do get the pitching, they're not hitting.
They're not
If you can't hit, then forget. You can't rely on your pitchers to go out and do it. Look at Peyton Tolley. He strikes out 11 the other night, gives up 2 or 3 hits.
Got out of a bases loaded, no out jam with 3 strikeouts. He was fantastic the other night.
They can't hit, and that's no good.
No.
That's no good. Anyway, that's my take on this. And one more thing I'll say. I'm sick and tired of this Vrabel and Rossini. They've been dragging us through the mud for the last 2 weeks, and they're still on the table. Now I just had it with that. Let's go back and stick to sports. But the media will do that. They get a hold of you, they're going to do that. They love that kind of stuff.
It's unfortunate that they brought it upon themselves.
Right.
And,
we haven't spoken about it today. We were going to have a little take near the end on it because it bled into some football operation stuff. But other than that, I was done. We were probably done with it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I thought we were done with it last week, and
well, you're right. I'm done with it myself.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in. Guys, thanks for your time.
All right.
Thanks, Moose.
Thank you, Moose.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins. We need it.
Celtics. Go Celtics.
Tomorrow night as well. All right. Have a good one.
You bet.
Bye. Mighty Moose joining us here in the Chief Seats. If you want to join us in the Chief Seats, give us a call, 401-766-1240. Why don't we take our second break? We come back, got a couple more thoughts on the NHL and the Bruins, and we'll bleed over into the Celtics as well. And then I guess we will have to discuss some Red Sox stuff as well.
yeah.
I mean, they're playing. 9-17 though.
Are they playing?
They're showing up in uniform. All right, you're in the Chief Seats with Pat Kevin on 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and WoonSocketRadio.com. We will be right back.
State Line Service and Tire Center services all vehicles, including late model cars and light trucks. Your late model vehicle is a highly sophisticated piece of equipment featuring a network of sensors and switches that monitor engine performance and efficiency. When a problem arises, it's important for your technician to know if your check engine light warning is a real problem or just a sensor computer issue. So be safe and be sure. Don, Kevin, and Sean believe in communicating and explaining. State Line Service and Tire Center, 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket, at the State Line.
Woonsocket Door Sales can handle all types of projects, from the simpler residential installations to the more complex commercial projects. They install, service, and repair. Garage doors are also an important facet of home and business security, since garages contain some of your valuable items like vehicles, tools, and small equipment. Visit their website at woonsocketdoorsales.com and see a gallery of designs and styles, as well as testimonials from their satisfied customers from many surrounding towns. Woonsocket Door Sales, 1 Biltmore Avenue, Cumberland, 767-3448. Their reputation for sales and service is ironclad, just like their doors. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448.
If you want your yard to be the envy of the neighborhood, then you need to contact Rosato and Sons of Westboro. They've been turning outdoor visions into reality across Massachusetts for more than 37 years. From custom patios, walkways, and outdoor kitchens to low-maintenance water features and landscape lighting. Looking for routine lawn maintenance, irrigation, or seasonal color? Rosato and Sons has you covered. They are a full-service landscaping firm doing it all in-house for unmatched quality and reliability. When you're ready to elevate your outdoor living, visit rosatoandsons.com to request your free estimate. Rosato and Sons of Westboro, where beautiful landscapes aren't an expense, they're an investment.
Join us this morning, right after the Cheap Seat Sports Show, to hear somebody win their choice of $300 cash or $500 in Rhode Island lottery tickets in our invitation-only Radio Squares Championship game. The fun starts at 10 a.m. and plays single elimination until we have a winner. That's today at 10.
ON Radio.
And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Now let's go right back to the phone lines. And welcome to the Cheap Seats. Are you there, caller? Hello? Not sure.
That would be enough.
Hello? Hello. Oh, okay. Well, we had a caller. Wonder if she's calling in for Radio Squares at 10 o'clock. Just a little bit early, maybe. But if it didn't connect, feel free to call back. 401-766-1240. You can call us as well. Lines are open. 401-766-1240. Just one last thought on the Bruins before moving over to the Celtics. Did a quick search. Heard that Zadorov did limp off a bit on Thursday, but I have not heard. You haven't heard, Pat, anything. So it looks like everyone's all healthy to go. And then just the big takeaway, I was, the 8-1 in 3 games, four goals against. We touched on it briefly. The Bruins just not closing out third periods.
Yeah, I got to play stronger in the third period,
right?
For sure.
And literally back on the heels is how.
Yeah, I'd
like
to see a game where we just put them away and
right.
We don't have to think about it
and take it to them. Okay, the phones are ringing again. Let's go to the phone lines. And welcome to the Cheap Seats.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, are you there?
No.
Okay, we're not getting anybody. Hello, are you there? Huh. Not sure what's happening here. So,
okay. Anyway.
So give us a call, 401-766-1240. Thought I heard a voice in the background, but then it kind of faded away. So it could be a bad cell area or whatever. But all right. So I know Celtics. I got to watch some of the game last night. They won 108-100. Game 1, absolute demolished them.
Yeah.
Game 2, disappointed because they were up early. Gave up the lead, made a little bit of a comeback in the second half, pulled to within 2, and then just let the game get away from them again. And I thought, yes, you got to give credit to Philadelphia for playing such a strong game, but a little disappointing at home. We both had the Celtics, if not sweeping, maybe taking it in 5. But within that context, especially without Embiid for Philadelphia, was taking the first 2 at home. So now you're doing it the hard way. Yes, they took Game 3 on the road, which was great last night, but now you have the night game tomorrow night still in Philadelphia, and that arena was rocking last night.
Yeah, I think the Celtics this year have been really good, and I think because they haven't had to really rely on the 3-point shooting. It is still a big focus of their offensive game, but when they weren't shooting well, they were able to make the adjustment. I think several games this year, they beat Philadelphia by pounding the paint.
Right.
Those are the games that Queta had like 20-something points and 20-something rebounds. They didn't make that adjustment in Game 2, and I think they shot 26% from 3 that game. 2 guys in double figures only.
Yeah.
And you go back to Game 3, they shoot like 38% from 3. They got 5 or 6 guys in double figures. Like, they need to have that supporting group of D. White, Pritchard, and one other guy, whether it be Sam Hauser, Cueta, or Vucevic or Garza. One of those other guys needs to play well. And they got that last night. They had 6 guys in double figures last night. Jaylen Brown
and Tatum both had 20.
Tatum both with 25.
25,
I
right.
think Tatum played 42 minutes last night.
So I mean, if there are any questions about his injury lingering, they'll play 42 out of 48 minutes.
Two big threes at the end of the game.
Yep.
So I'm not worried. I thought it would probably go 5.
Right.
They dropped 1. So hopefully they take that as a learning lesson.
Well, and unlike the Bruins, the Celtics have been a very good road team.
Yes.
So they've been strong at home as well, but they've been very good on the road. So it's not as big of a deal. I feel like that they, with their chance to sweep Philadelphia these 2 games before they come home, I feel better about them than should the Bruins lose tomorrow and have to go back to Buffalo down 3-1. Sometimes teams play better with their backs against the wall, but I just don't like how they've been playing this calendar year on the road.
Yeah. You look at the Eastern Conference. Atlanta leads New York 2-1 right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Cleveland is up 2-1 over Toronto, and then Detroit and Orlando are tied at 1 each. So. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But Atlanta's playing good basketball. If they knock out the Knicks, it's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, because I think everyone just automatically jumped to the next round that the Celtics will be playing the Knicks in the next round, but it's not. It's not necessarily going to be the case. You do not want. I know the league. I'm sure the league does not want Atlanta, Philadelphia. I'm sure they want New York, Boston. But
then you go to the West. Wemby goes down the other night with a concussion.
You're right. Day after he gets Defensive Player of the Year.
He misses last night's game. I think San Antonio was down by 15 points in the third quarter.
Wow. And
they come back and win by double digits.
Yeah.
So that's a tough loss for Portland. So San Antonio leads that series. A lot of people have said that series could be wide open now that Wemby potentially could miss last night and the next game under the protocol.
Well, you again, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
That's obviously a huge loss.
And a different team without him on the floor.
Of course,
for sure.
And we had even mentioned, going back to the Celtics for a second, Jaylen Brown. I happened to see he had a great block last night late in the game where he swatted or took away a potential dunk. And again, the defensive play of Jaylen Brown all year has been huge, and now complemented by Tatum's return. That's why I'm real excited. And all the other role players that you mentioned that continuing to step up, get their minutes, get their points as well. I'm real excited about the Celtics, going forward, not just in this series, but in the Eastern Conference.
And it always comes down to, and I'm not a huge basketball guy, but I did dabble a little.
Yeah.
I dabbled when I was younger. If you could, they always said, and I forget what coach it was, if you play the Bulls, let's give Michael his 60.
Right.
But if you could stop everyone else,
exactly,
we have a chance to win the game. That's what it's like. Maxey is going to go.
He's the guy.
Give him his 30-plus points, but control the role players. And they did that last night. The young rookie, I can't think of his name.
I'm drawing a blank on his name right now.
But he went off for 30 the other night, and then last night he had 10. So they held him in check. He had 10 rebounds, but they held him in check. And, it's a much different outcome. I don't expect the Celtics to beat anybody on multiple nights by 20-plus points.
Right.
But they should win easily.
And one of the things the Celtics did do well in Embiid's absence last night is the Sixers only got a combined 22 points from his exact replacements, Adem Bona and Andre Drummond. So as he continues to stay out of the series, that's only going to benefit the Celtics. And should he come back, it's a pretty major surgery he had.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
I don't think so. They say he's coming back slowly, but it's other people that have had the emergency appendectomy, you don't just come back. I mean, it's major. It's time consuming.
Yeah.
And the NBA is a physical league to play in. So I'd be very surprised to see Embiid back as well. So again, Game 3, gritty battle last night. Nice win by the Celtics. Win by 8. Tomorrow night, 7:00. Expect more of the same. Though I do expect the Celtics win tomorrow. I think you got to take advantage of them without Embiid and just keep your foot on the gas pedal as well. So why don't we take our final break? We'll come back. We'll dive into the Red Sox. I do want to talk a little bit of the Patriots draft. I want to get your thoughts on who they have drafted. And we'll have a comment on Vrabel there as well, I'm sure. So, all right, and join us in the cheap seats. Hopefully, it was just a bad sell area. For the people that did try to call in, feel free to give us a call back, 401-766-1240, and you can join us in the cheap seats on WOON, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, and OneSocketRadio.com.
Your certified Buick GMC dealer serving drivers throughout Woonsocket and the surrounding areas is Tasca Buick GMC. At Tasca, you'll find a solid selection of new Buick GMC models, as well as a carefully inspected lineup of pre-owned vehicles. They also have a well-connected finance center run by a qualified team of finance experts who can help you get the right loan or lease in a quick, easy, and transparent manner. Tasca Buick GMC, 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Visit TascaBuickGMC.com. Tasca Buick GMC. You will be satisfied.
The world-class distributor of all things electrical is Electrical Wholesalers. They are a full-service electrical distributor with branches throughout Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Locally, they're at 113 Clinton Street next to KFC here in Woonsocket, with other locations in Cranston and Franklin, Massachusetts. Electrical Wholesalers provides the highest quality service to electrical contractors, as well as residential, commercial, and industrial customers. Electrical Wholesalers is open Monday through Friday, 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Visit ew-ne.com. Electrical Wholesalers. Join us this morning, right after the Cheap Seat Sports Show, to hear somebody win their choice of $300 cash or $500 in Rhode Island lottery tickets in our invitation-only Radio Squares Championship game. The fun starts at 10 a.m. and plays single elimination until we have a winner. That's today at 10. If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
And this week, Michael's has 85% lean ground beef for just $5.99 a pound. Patties for $6.49 a pound. So give Michael's a call, 401-305-5555 at 2130 Mendon Road. That's 401-305-5555. All right, welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. We've put it off long enough. Your Boston Red Sox, I believe they are 9-7. Yep, they are 9-17 on the season. Let's talk about what they have done well.
Okay, now what they have. Sorry,
exactly. No, you're 100% right. Is Connolly early has been pitching pretty well. I thought he did. Thought he did well in the game 1 against the Yankees. You look at his numbers, they're probably not as good as he wants. I think it was like 5 1/3, 5 2/3, 4 runs, but he was doing well up until the 6th inning. You had Peyton Tolley come in and was just incredible. 11
strikeouts.
Yeah, 11 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. Only 1 walk, maybe 2. And again, he was fantastic. So you got the young guys, Connolly and early, and now the questions are. Well, Sonny Gray's on the injured list, who had been pitching okay-ish. Ranger Suarez did not pitch well the other day. And today's starting pitcher, Garrett Crochet, he's been in every other game type of guy. It's in the off game. has been way off.
Yeah.
Again, I can't believe on April 25th we're saying this. Is this a must-win? They're 9-17 right now.
Well, they got to turn it around. That's for sure. I mean, this is last year when they were in this kind of tough stretch. You know, every time Garrett Crochet took the mound, it was essentially a guaranteed win.
Right. That was the game to reverse anything that might have been going wrong or keep the good times going.
So now it's kind of like, well, when you don't know what you're going to get when he's on the mound, and they haven't been playing well, it's a recipe for disaster. And none of these pitches that they've gone out and gotten have really hit.
Right. They're not.
And the hitters aren't hitting.
The hitters are not hitting. I mean, right now their leading guy, Connor Wong, who I didn't even want on the team, 296. Abreu 295. But let's you dip down. Story's got his average up to 200. Duran 198, and he needed three hits the other day to get to 198. Montesero bit player hit 194. IKF 194. I'm sorry, 179. I was on board at the very beginning of the year with Caleb Durbin. If I hear one more announcer say, you Red Sox fans are going to love this kid Durbin at the end of the year. I've heard it 4 different times from 4 different announcers on 4 different networks. I don't know how you can strangle an announcer through the TV, but right now there is nothing to love about a 148 hitter with a 242 on base percentage who has no home runs, no RBIs. I'm sorry, he has 7 RBIs. I don't want to take anything away from him. The biggest credit to him is he's worked 8 walks. I mean, that's about it.
I mean, he has more RBIs than Roman Anthony.
And that's another issue. I'm concerned with him, not because of his average or his slow start. I think he's probably putting a lot of pressure on himself. As a young guy, the face of the team, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, who's the face of the team. We can get to that in a second, but he sat the other day with stiffness or with his lower back. Last year, he left the end of the year with a bad back. He's 21 years old, and this is a reoccurring thing with a bad back. I mean, is this a source of concern, Pat, having a bad back at such a young age?
I'm not concerned, but you certainly don't want your young guys missing games as often as he has thus far. But if this isn't a long-term thing, then I'm fine with it. But if he goes on the DL or something, then it's like, all right, we gotta, like, what's going on here? Is it truly injury related? Is it just the new kid mentality of like, well, I don't have to play every day. Are they putting too much pressure? I think they've pushed a lot of pressure on this kid,
right,
to be the face of the organization.
Yes,
I mean, even these other young guys, Connor Griffin in Pittsburgh. I mean, this kid's a stud,
right?
But they're not like, we go as you go,
right?
I mean, they have some other pieces, but Anthony, it's like
in Pittsburgh, clearly a different market than Boston.
Yeah,
anyway.
but Roman Anthony, it's you can't expect a 21-year-old kid to be the face, the leader, the end all be all,
right?
In the locker room. I mean, he's the first guy to go to for an interview. He's and when you're struggling, it becomes a bigger issue, I think, on him. More pressure. He's batting 225.
Looking at his stats right now, I am actually impressed. I always like a guy that can have their on-base percentage 100 points higher than their average, and he's actually about 140 points higher than his average, 361 on base. So he's still seeing the plate well. He's worked 16 walks, which does lead the team right now. I'm a little concerned about the 25 strikeouts. He didn't strike out that much last year. Puts him third on the team behind Story at 35 strikeouts and Contreras with 32 strikeouts.
And you would expect those guys to be in that category, that
right.
Frame of numbers, right? Wilson's a big swinger,
right? As
is Story, and he's always been a strikeout guy. So,
but my concern overall though is they lead the league in strikeouts. This is a team that's, again, built on Craig Breslow's words, pitching and defense, that isn't doing either, and they're not hitting. The team average is one of the lowest in majors. Was that they've scored 2 runs or less in 11 games this year now, which is worse than the league. Again, Early and Tolle have pitched okay, but the other guys, Bayer, what happened last night? What did you say? 3 home runs in the first inning it was? Or back to back? I looked up, I literally looked up, and it was 4-0 in the first inning, and Bayer was still out there. I think he went 3 2/3 total, 11 hits, 8 runs. 3 1/3. Crochet's got a 7.88 ERA.
The numbers don't lie. when their starting pitchers get through the 6th inning, I think they're like 8-0. When they don't,
which is more often than not, right?
They lose.
Here are your starting pitchers: Brian Bayo, 1-3 with a 9 ERA. These aren't small samples anymore. He's got a WHIP, walks and hits divided by innings pitched. For those that may not know, a WHIP of 2.27. It's unacceptable. Crochet 7.88. Sonny Gray 4.3, but he's hurt. Suarez 4, not the worst. And then Tolle 1.5, and Connolly Early 2.88. It is a small sample for Tolle, but they're not getting the innings out of these guys. 5-star. They're averaging.
Even Crochet's whips high 163.
163. You look, 5 games started for Bayo, 22 innings. That's less than 5 innings a start on average. Crochet, 5 innings, 24 innings. That's still less than 5 a start. Connolly Early, 5 games started, 25 innings, 5 innings a start.
26 games. They only have 9 quality starts.
9 quality starts.
That's it right there. Now, again, they're not getting any support on the other side.
Right, they're not hitting.
Which is a challenge.
But, not hitting, so 3 hits in game 1, loss to the Yankees. In a shutout, and then they finally scored in the 9th inning. Yeah, and they lost 4-1. That's when Durant can't hit. So, all right, we have a few minutes left. I think we've dragged the the Red Sox through the mud enough. Bottom line is they need to hit. And they're not, and support your pitching. Maybe give them more than 32 seconds in between half innings the rest of their arm.
4 pitches the other night.
There was,
7th inning.
There was a 3-inning stretch where the pitcher for the Yankees threw 23 pitches, 7, 11, and 5.
Schlicker the other night
from Walpole.
After New York takes the lead, the very bottom of that inning, it's 4 pitches.
It's unacceptable. So,
anyway,
all right. So on to the Patriots. It's the only thing I got to say on Vrabel is last week I said it on air. It's a personal matter between him, his wife, family, whatever's happening there. My only concern now is it did bleed into today. Today's day 3 of the draft. He's just not there.
But he's not making these picks anyway.
So. Right? No, it's an Elliott Wolf thing, and the whole team of people. With that said, again, I think we've actually talked about it last week and the week before. There's really not a whole lot more to say about Vrabel that you haven't already heard on other platforms as well. One thing on the A.J. Brown, Keyshawn Boutte not at the voluntary workouts this week. Any read into that he might be the odd man out?
There's no doubt Philadelphia drafted a wide receiver. They've signed 2 wide receivers. There's no doubt that they're ready to move on from A.J. Brown. It wouldn't surprise me if they already have a deal in place with the Patriots. There's not a lot of leverage on either side, I think, at this point. So I would be shocked if come June 1st we don't hear immediately that there was a deal already made.
Because he's not even being linked to any other teams. I think everyone just knows it, accepts it. It's the worst kept secret in the NFL, unless something happens like a Max Crosby situation where he gets traded. They do a workout with him, and doctors determine his knee's not good.
Yeah, there was a scenario that came up with the Jacksonville was looking to trade up, and they were dangling their wide receiver there, Brian Thomas Jr. I think it was, and
good year last year.
And so he's a young guy. I think he just doesn't fit into what what they're doing down there, then it's like, well, at least if the Patriots are, hey, like we got this other opportunity, we could get Brian Thomas Jr. He's younger,
Right.
but I don't know.
So in the draft, again, I will not claim to know who these players are. I don't know college football. I don't claim to, and I'm not an expert for 3 days a year like everybody else is in New England right now. However, I do know, or I think I know, what I want the Patriots to draft for positions. And with their first pick, they actually traded down, or traded up 3 spots from 31 to 28 to go get an offensive tackle from Utah, Caleb Lomu. And by all accounts, they was pretty much dismissed from Foxborough because they thought he wouldn't drop that low. So supposedly, I know everyone's like the can't miss prospect.
Yeah.
When they get drafted,
Didn't think he'd be on the board still.
Yeah, wow, did we lucky? He fell into our lap. You know, you hear that every year. But a position of need again on the offensive line. Does he play left guard? Is he going to be? Are they going to slide Will Campbell? Is he going to play another spot on the line?
They've said no.
Okay.
That they are looking at him for right tackle.
Right tackle. Okay.
After Moses may potentially retire, so.
Okay.
I think he's a safe net.
All right.
If Will Campbell doesn't work out this year, then we can slide him in at left.
Right.
We can put Will in, or put him on the right side. Whatever.
The more young good guys you could put on the line to protect Drake May, the better. Patriots traded up from 63 to 55 to take an edge rusher, and Gabe Jacobs in round 2. I also felt that was a need, putting some pressure on the quarterback on the defensive end. Again, not knowing who Gabe Jacobs is, I'm assuming second round draft pick. He's good. Have you heard anything about him as well?
I haven't. I mean, I think it's at least good to know that they actually had him in. They talked to him. You know, when he left the Foxborough, everyone said, "Hey, this is a guy we want to look at." You know, so we'll see.
And then in the third pick, I like this pick because I like the position that they use it with the 95th pick overall. They took Notre Dame tight end Eli Reardon, who had good numbers again at Notre Dame last year, almost 50 catches, only 500 yards. They lost Hooper in the offseason. They still got Hunter Henry. I like the pick. I do actually like their wide receiver room as it stands right now, and with the addition of A.J. Brown, should that happen, I like that as well. I think this is a nice pick for the Patriots at tight end.
It certainly fills a need.
Another block or two, because tight ends can block. Yeah, so
they hit 3 positions of need, which is all you can ask for. You know, they did. I think the only thing that was suggested was they traded up in the first round to take the 7th rated tackle.
Right.
Now, whether that's 7th, I have no idea, but
right.
He looks like a good athlete. So we'll see.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. The draft continues today with the final 5 rounds. I think it is. It's again, I don't claim to know the stuff as well. That's the Oregon punter and all. So we want to thank you for joining us in the cheap seats on WOON 1240 AM 99.5 FM and WoodSocketRadio.com. Go and stay tuned for Radio Squares, the championship round coming up momentarily here on WOON. Have a great night, everybody.